house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother 18 updates and spoilers. Our house guest today is Christina Doon. She is watching all the way from New Zealand. That is so cool. I would love to visit New Zealand one day. I hope you're living it up there. Alright, and thank you so much for your sweet message. It was really awesome. Brought a smile to my face. So if you guys want to be house guest of the day like Christina, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright. We've got a lot to talk about here, guys. So, Paul and Victor are up on the block. And they had the Power Veto competition yesterday. Everybody was playing except Nicole. And it was the memory comp. Woo! So, Big Brother had the house guests up all night with their BB Stormwatch announcements. So much fun. This is always one of my favorite competitions where they, like, keep them up all night. And then you see, like, who studies, who goes to sleep, who doesn't care. So, that's a lot of fun. And if you want to hear more about that, you should definitely watch yesterday's spoiler. But let's just cut right to the chase. Paul won the Power of Veto. He apparently had a score of 21. I don't really know what that means. But Victor was close behind with a 19. So, you know, people were taking note of that. Oh, Paul won and Victor almost won. So, yeah, Paul, I'm assuming he's going to be using it on himself. So Paul, Victor, James, and Natalie were all up in the HOH room after the competition. Paul is very excited because they have a chance now to right the wrong that Natalie and Michelle made with nominations. Not everybody sees it that way, but, you know, Paul and Victor definitely do. So Paul is saying now we can get Corey up on the block, get rid of him, and then get rid of Nicole next week. Let's just, like, undo all this crap. So Natalie and James are playing along with this, but we know that before the HOH competition, or sorry, before the Power Veto competition, they decided that they were going to stick with Nicole and Corey and get rid of Paul this week. So now, obviously, Paul is off the table. They can't get rid of him. So now what are they going to do? Because Natalie was saying that she didn't want to get rid of Victor, but, you know, she's either going to have to suck it up and get rid of him, or they're going to have to not stick with Nicole and Corey. So they're trying to figure that out, whatever. But anyway, Natalie is saying it's going to be up to Michelle, like who the replacement nominee is, because Michelle was the one who put up Paul as the co-HOH. So she's like, I'm just going to hide for the rest of the week. So Paul is telling them, you guys need to be on the lookout because Nicole and Corey are going to be up your butts. So if you hear anything weird, just come cross-reference it with us, so we can, like, iron things out and we won't have another freaking freak show shitstorm like the beginning of this week. So then Victor leaves the room. Michelle joins them and she's like, I want to put up Nicole. So we know that that's what Michelle initially wanted at the beginning of the week, but Natalie was like, no, we got to put up Paul and Victor. So they're all telling her, like, it's your decision. We're going to support you. We'll do what you want. No, they're not. But Paul then starts arguing that it would actually be better to put up Corey than Nicole, because Corey is better at competitions than Nicole. It's not saying much, I know, but he has won a few things, and Corey is also still eligible for a care package, whereas Nicole is not. So next week, they figure if Corey's out of the picture, it's going to be either Paul or Victor automatically winning that. They don't realize that somebody else is coming back. But yeah, they like those odds. So then Paul and Victor were chatting alone downstairs, and this is pretty interesting, guys. They're feeling a little bit better now that one of them won the Power Veto. You know, it's not the two of them up against each other on Thursday. So there is still that chance that they could both stay. So they want to keep pushing the 5 working together, meaning everyone except for Nicole and Corey, and get rid of Corey this week. So then they start talking about next week. If they win the HOH, they're like, we're going to put up Natalie and James. They don't care that they're, like, going against them because they freaking got screwed over this week by their alliance. They did the same thing to them this week, so they're not going to feel bad putting them up on the block. They're telling them there's no hard feelings, but there are some really hard feelings. So then, where am I? Okay, so Natalie and James up on the block, hypothetically. They want James to go home because then they're going to be left with 3 girls, and these girls are not good at competition, so they're feeling really good about their chances there. it's going to be interesting to see if they can pull this off. Right now it's looking like no, but then again, we know that somebody's coming back from the jury. Can you imagine if Victor was the person coming back after he was already, you know, brought back into the game once before? It would be insane. So then James and Natalie were having a game chat in the HOH room, and Natalie's bummed out because she really wanted to get rid of Paul this week. That was her target, and now he won the power of veto. So again, she did not want to get rid of Victor, but her hands are kind of tied at this point because she's worried if Paul and Victor are still in the house together, they're so good at competitions that they'll just be able to win out all the way to the end and get to the final two together. So she's like, we are going to have to get rid of Victor. That's just how it is. So then she's trying to justify it. She's saying Nicole and Corey wouldn't put us up on the block. They totally owe us. So they're not going to turn on us like that. Also, they feel like they're safely back in the middle by getting rid of Victor because you've got Nicole and Corey on one side, who they feel would put up Paul and Michelle if they won HOH. And you've got Paul and Michelle on the other side who will go after Nicole and Corey. So they think. So they're feeling really good about how this all worked out. And James is just like, yeah, Victor's collateral damage this week. It's just how the cookie crumbles. And then Natalie's saying, you know, this plan is great and all, but we need to be careful and not let this slip to Michelle, at least until after the power veto ceremony, because Michelle could always do something crazy if she gets wind of this and put up James. And Natalie would not like that. So they're going to have to keep this away from Michelle, at least until after the power veto. Alright, so then the two showmances meet up in the kitchen, and James and Natalie confirm that they are going to stick with Nicole and Corey. They want Victor out this week. So then James is telling them, like, don't freak out if you see me hanging out with Paul and Victor. I gotta keep up appearances, make sure they don't figure out what's going on. Come on. These guys are smart. But anyway, Nicole is super giddy. She's just like, oh my god, I can't believe we pulled this off this week. Oh. So then they agree that they all trust each other, blah, blah, blah. And then obviously they're saying if they win HOH next week, they're going to put up Paul and Michelle. Okay. So then Natalie's telling James, you need to go hang out with Paul so that he's not weirded out. So Michelle, Paul, and James were hanging out in the safari room. They're talking about who should go this week. And again, Michelle's like, I want to put up Nicole. So she's like out for blood with Nicole. She's going for it. So James, of course, is like, I would support that. I would vote out Nicole if that's what you wanted. He's telling tales. But Paul is still sticking to his guns, arguing that it would be better to take out Corey this week. Again, Corey's better at competitions, and he could still get a care package. So then they were talking about what the next care package could be, and Paul is convinced that it's going to be some sort of HOH takeover. But that's like basically what happened this week, but he's thinking that it's going to be like the HOH totally loses their power and whoever gets the care package is going to be the new HOH. But that's not going to happen. It's the bribe one, which I don't even know is going to be that exciting, but we'll see. I don't know. So then they were talking about the possibility of someone coming back from jury. Michelle is really freaked out that it could happen. She's like, what if freaking Paulie comes back? And James is saying, no way. It's too late in the game for them to bring someone back from the jury. Boy, are these people going to be shocked on Thursday night. I'm here for it. Okay, so then this morning, James is just like, he has boarded that Nakori train. The train has left the station. He's already made his way to the snack car. There is no turning back for James. It is game over. So James, Nicole, and Corey were chatting in the kitchen, and James lets them know Michelle really wants Nicole out this week. So, of course, Nicole is like, oh my god, like, what the frick does she want? Why does she want me out? It doesn't make any sense. So then she's saying this is like Christine all over again. But doesn't Nicole kind of have a similar game as Christine? Like, she wanted all the girls out. She wanted to be like the last girl left with the guys. Like, that's kind of what I was getting from that. But like more showmantic at the same time. Like, she's latched on to Corey, obviously. But anyway, yeah, James is giving them all this information, so he's telling her, you need to be careful with Michelle. She's not, like, your best friend, so don't be, like, telling her stuff. So then I kind of got a kick out of this, how James and Nicole were saying that this season is so much more difficult than their previous seasons, and they thought this was going to be like summer camp again, but they actually had to play the game. But I'm just like wondering, what game have they been playing? Because James and Nicole have not even been up on the block once this season, right? Like, I know Nicole definitely is not, but James, he hasn't either, right? They haven't really faced that much adversity, so I don't know what they're so freaked out about. Ew, I almost touched Homer's butt. All for you guys. But yeah, they're saying that this is so much more difficult, but I don't understand how. So anyway, James is saying again, Michelle wants Nicole out, Paul wants Corey out, and then he or Victor will be able to get the next care package. They're convinced that Corey's gonna get it. Please don't. Okay, so then James is saying, like, how awesome it's going to be to have the two couples battle it out in the Final Four. You know what I have to say about that? Oh, it's so gross. I can't. Alright, so then these three move their party out to the backyard, and Nicole is still trying to wrap her head around why Paul wants Corey out. Because he's not working with him. Why would he want to keep Corey in the house? Come on, stop it. And then there was something that I saw in Joker's updates. I didn't hear this myself, so, like, I'm not saying that this absolutely happened, but somebody posted on Joker's that at one point Nicole and Corey were talking this afternoon, and she was telling Corey, if the two of us are in the final two, I will just go ahead and tell the jury to give you the money, like, to vote for you. What? If that is true, that's really, really sad, but I can totally see her saying that. Alright, so anyway, back to the James, Nicole, Corey conversation. And can anybody confirm if she actually said that? Because I need to know. Leave it in the comments if you know. Okay, so then they were talking about how after Victor's gone, they're totally just going to tell Michelle and Paul that they are the next ones to go. And then they were saying how they were going to, like, leave it in toothpaste, or, like leave a note in toothpaste, or, like, do something totally crazy so that America will get a kick out of it. That's going to make America hate you, but go ahead and do that. So then they were also saying how they would, like, mess with them if it was an endurance competition, and these people are just getting a little too slap happy at this point, a little overconfident, and it's not sitting well with me. But anyway, maybe I'm the only one who feels that way, but I doubt it. So then they were talking about the next HOH competition and how they're going to have a 3-4 shot at winning because it's going to be the three of them and Paul competing, and Corey saying it's pretty much on lock because there's no way that Paul is going to be able to win competitions back-to-back. He just won that power veto. How is he going to win that HOH too? I don't understand that, but sure. Especially since Corey, of all people, won an HOH and a POV back-to-back, but fine. So then, you know, they're still feeling good because even if they lose this HOH competition, they're really banking on Corey getting the next care package. So then, Victor and James were chatting in the backyard, and can you not sit on my glasses? So, they were hanging out in the backyard. James is like, yeah, I was just talking to Nicole and Corey, and, like, they were asking me for my vote this week because they know, like, one of them's going up on the block. So, Victor was like, oh, really? What was their argument? Like, what was their pitch to you to get your vote? And James just like, he did not have an answer. He did not prepare for that situation. So he's just, like, lying about stuff, and he is not ready to back it up. But he kind of, like, wormed his way out of it. I really hope that Victor did not buy that. He should know that, like, James is plotting with Nicole and Corey, right? Right? Okay. But Victor moved on to bigger and better things because he had another Baldwin puppet show today. Oh my god, but today was the poolside edition. Y'all know how I feel about Baldwin the Eagle. I could go on all day about him, but I won't. If you want to check it out, 2:50 p.m., Camera One, Flashback. Okay. So then Nicole and Corey were chatting, and they were, you know, saying, I would be cool with going up on the block. I'd be cool with going up on the block. So they're both okay with it. So they say going up as the replacement nominee because they feel like really confident that James is going to keep them safe this week. But then they kind of start like bickering. You know Nicole does not want to be the replacement nominee. She hasn't been up yet this season. She's said multiple times that she doesn't feel confident being a pawn. That's like her #1 rule. But they were bickering like, oh, so you're saying you want me up? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, no, I didn't say that. Okay, one last thing for today. Paul and Victor were having a quick game chat, and this was actually a nice little break for Victor because that poor man was freaking tackling that disgusting ass bathroom all by himself, just chipping away at the grime, the layers of grime, while everybody else was having a good time hanging out in the backyard. Okay, so Paul was saying, we're kind of effed right now, but we can still salvage this week. We got to make sure we get Corey up on the block. He says there's no way we can still trust James and Natalie anymore. That ship has sailed. But we need to keep James close because we're going to need his vote this week to keep you in the house. So their game plan, keep pushing Michelle to put Corey up on the block because they think they'll have an easier time getting rid of him than Nicole. Also, Victor's going to keep being nice to people. Good idea. I mean, it probably helps that you're cleaning that bathroom, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. And then they want to keep bringing up that comment that Corey made about Natalie to Natalie because she flips out every time they mention it. I'm talking about when Corey was all like, Natalie's gonna suck. James is D all the way to the end. She doesn't like that for obvious reasons. But anyway, they're also going to reiterate that they're not targeting James because that's an obvious concern for James and Natalie. So I don't know if it's going to work. Tomorrow's the power veto ceremony. I'm thinking it's not going to work, by the way. But tomorrow's the power veto ceremony. Paul will be taking himself off. And I'm not sure at this point if Michelle's going to put up Corey or Nicole. But we'll see. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And until tomorrow, much love.